Number 1. College student gets racially profiled for picking up trash. On March 1st, 2019, Officer John Smiley, a 14-year veteran with the Boulder Police Department in Colorado, confronted Zaid Atkinson, a 26-year-old academic, under the mistaken suspicion of trespassing while he was merely cleaning his front yard. The release of the incident's body cam recording drew significant public outrage. Have a look.
I couldn't help but notice you just sitting on the patio out there.
What's that?
I couldn't help but notice you sitting on the patio behind this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's signs for no trespassing, private
live
property,
here.
that kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing, if you lived here or you worked here.
Yeah,
It looks like you're working, doing
I
something,
live
picking
here
stuff
and
up.
I work here.
Okay, gotcha.
The officer then asked Zaid for his address, at which he points to the building behind, saying that he lived there. But when the officer tried to ask him specifics about the unit he lived in, Zaid justifiably expressed reservations, saying that he was under no obligation to divulge that kind of information.
What unit are you in?
I don't think I have to actually tell you that.
Well, I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here, that's
Well,
all.
I just told you I lived here.
Okay.
And I told you that I'm working as well.
Okay.
Shouldn't that be enough for you?
Well, I gotta verify it, just so I know that you
Why
do
is-
in fact live here.
What do you need from me?
Smiley then pressed for an ID so he could validate Zaid's address. Wanting to get things over with, Zaid reluctantly handed it over, but there was a problem. It did not have Zaid's address on it. Hoping to fix the situation, Zaid offered to use his key to enter the building as proof of residence, but Officer Smiley simply brushed that aside.
Okay. Do you have anything with your address on it?
Yo, look, man. Here, why don't you follow
Just
me
relax.
and I'll just fucking leave the building, dude.
Hey, just chill out, man.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
I'm just asking you if you have something with your address on it, then that would help me.
No, I don't. How am I
Okay.
supposed to have something with my address
Well,
on it?
a lot of people have a
They
driver's
just carry
license.
they just carry something with their address on it?
Yeah, an ID.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
Frustrated, Zaid walked away from the officer and took a seat on the patio in front of the building. As Smiley wrote some things into his notepad, he walked up to Zaid and asked him for his date of birth. The college student was once again very confused.
So, Mr. Atkinson, can I get your date of birth, please?
Why?
I just need to verify who you are, that you belong here, that you have a right to be here, okay?
Are you kidding me, man?
Can you have a seat, please?
No.
Mr. Atkinson.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
290 Cook 12. Can you please have a seat?
No.
Put that down. Stop.
Zaid stopped paying attention to the officer and resumed cleaning up the trash outside his house. Zaid's actions did not sit well with Smiley, and he began to follow him around the building while ordering him to sit down and even calling for backup.
Mr. Atkinson, right now you're obstructing a police officer, which is a jailable offense. I'm asking you one more time to sit down.
I'm not doing anything wrong. And you're not going to arrest me. You're not going to do anything. Because I live here. And I didn't do anything wrong.
Last chance, sir.
For what?
Have a seat.
For what? For what?
Sit
You're
down.
gonna arrest a
Right now I'm
person? You're
detaining
gonna
you
arrest
and
someone?
investigating you
You're
for a
gonna arrest-
trespass.
I fucking live here, dumbass.
Sit down. Sit down.
No.
As they go around to the side of the building, things get kind of surreal. Smiley saw Zaid's trash picker as a threat, and if that wasn't enough, he even hinted that he might use his taser.
And tase me outside of my residence. I hope that
Drop
thing's
that.
on.
Put that down.
I hope the camera's on, sir.
Put that
I
down.
really do. No, I'm working.
You need to
I live
listen to
here.
what I'm telling
I
you to
have
do
my
right now.
address. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything
290,
illegal.
we're on
I haven't
the
done anything
east
wrong.
side of
So I'm not gonna
2333
listen to you.
Folsom.
I don't
Subject's
know you.
failing to comply,
You're actually
not
on my
sitting down,
property,
and
and
he
I
has
feel
some
unsafe.
kind of a blunt object in his hand.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna follow until my cover gets here.
The officer's tone began to get more and more aggressive as he followed Zaid around the building. He told the college student that he was detained and even threatened to tase him if he failed to comply with orders.
Why?
I'm detaining you to investigate.
For what? For
Investigated
investigating what?
trespass.
I live here. You
You
saw
haven't
I'm a
confirmed that.
student.
Sit down.
I'm a student.
Sit down and I'll
I'm not
confirm it.
sitting anywhere.
Sit down now.
No.
Sit down.
No, I'm not sitting down.
Then you're probably gonna get tased in a second.
Why?
Because you have a weapon. Put that
I
down.
have a weapon.
Put it down and comply with my orders.
That's not what you're doing, officer.
Zaid began to lose his cool and warned the officer that he'd take legal action against him if he got detained in his own place for just picking up trash.
Do it.
Better thing, because I got fucking, dude, I could get lawyers, and you have a camera on you.
It's filming right now.
You're an idiot.
Have a seat,
Why would you
please.
think that you could tase me? I'm freaking picking up trash on my property.
I need to confirm
Which
it.
is where I live.
There's a sign.
I'm not doing anything illegal, and you're not gonna fucking tase me, officer. So
Sit
how do
down.
you think about that?
Sit down.
How do you feel about that, sir?
Sit
How
down
do you feel about
now.
that, sir? And get your freaking lieutenant here. All
They're
right?
on the way.
Yeah, good. Jackass.
Sit down now.
As the confrontation moved to the back of the property, things became ugly. The situation turned even more intense as Officer Smiley put his hand on his firearm.
Sit down.
I'm feeling safe. No, point the camera here.
You have a
I'm feeling
dangerous
safe.
object in your hand
I
and you're
have a
failing to put it
dangerous
down.
object. I'm picking up trash.
Put it down.
You're
You're being
shoot me.
detained.
Your hand is on your weapon, and you're gonna shoot me? That's what you're gonna do, officer?
290, we're still
You're
behind
gonna shoot a resident on his
2333
property for
Subject
picking up
is failing to
trash.
comply.
That's what you're gonna do, officer?
Sit down, sir.
Why don't you use your brain?
I asked you several times.
Use your intelligence. Are you gonna kill me? Are
Several
you gonna
times
kill me?
I've
Your
asked
hand
you.
is on your weapon. I
Yes,
feel
it is.
threatened. That's
I
a
feel
fucking
threatened
gun.
because you're not
That's a
putting that
gun.
down. Yes, it is.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down. I
I'm
told you
picking
many
up
times to
trash,
put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Put it down.
Smiley says that he asked Zayed to put the clamper down multiple times and that since he feels threatened by it, he will take the necessary actions he needs to do away with that threat.
Or you're gonna shoot me, officer?
If you use that weapon against me,
A weapon.
then
I'm-
yes, that is a
I'm 20 feet
consideration.
from you. I'm minding my
All you have to do
business.
is comply right
Everything-
now.
Officer, you're gonna shoot me.
Just have a seat, man.
Shoot me?
Fearing for his life, Zayed begins to shout, asking someone on the property to record the officer in his threats.
Hey.
Right.
Somebody in 2333, get a camera on this officer. He has a gun in his hand, and he's gonna shoot me. You got a camera? Exactly. That's my boy, Zinio, right there. This
Hey,
is
Fern,
my
we're
residence.
just to the east of
You're on my
Backcountry,
property with a gun in your hand.
Sit
threatening
down.
to shoot me because I'm picking up trash. I hope that
Sit
camera's
down.
on fucking camera. Where's your lieutenant?
Just sit down.
Where's your lieutenant? He has a fucking camera on you. You're gonna go to
Sir,
jail.
sit down.
Dude, you're not gonna get away with murder. You're not. Not today.
Look, I don't want this to go any further, but you need to
You're
comply
gonna
with my
shoot me?
orders.
I don't have a weapon.
That's a weapon.
This is a bucket.
No, that's a weapon. Right
This
there.
is a clamper for picking up garbage, sir.
Put it down. I'm telling you, I'm threatened
It's
by
not
it.
a weapon. You're not threatened. I'm threatened. You have a fucking gun that kills people. How am I supposed to kill someone with
Sit
this?
down, sir.
Dude, no. Keep that.
Sit
that on
down.
camera. He's got his gun in his hand. I'm gonna
Sit
shoot
down.
the shit out of you, dude. I go to university here.
You might be thinking that the arrival of the backup might have given any hope to Zayed. Yeah, that vanished really quickly. Instead of helping out, they started surrounding him, all of them telling the college student to comply with their orders.
Why do you all four of them look, dude? All four.
The police are telling you to do something. Do it.
You have a gun in your hand.
Yes, I do, because you're not listening.
You have a fucking gun
You
in
have
your
a
hand.
weapon.
I don't have a
Drop the weapon. Drop it.
I don't have a weapon.
Drop it now.
Focus on me. What are you doing? No, what do you mean? Focus
Drop
on
it
you. There's
now.
fucking 6 of you.
Just drop it.
Really? This is my property.
We're not going anywhere. You need to drop it.
The heated standoff went on for almost 10 more minutes, with Officer Smiley and his colleagues continually hounding Zayed that he needed to put away the metal object, sit down, and talk it out with them. But Zayed, he felt these cops were stepping all over his rights. In his eyes, he'd done nothing to look suspicious. He also felt threatened by the fact that they all had their guns out and ready to go. They only eased up when Zayed finally let go of the clamper.
Can you put it away? Can you just drop it on the ground? I'll put my gun down.
You're on my property. No, set it down.
If you put that down, I'll put my gun away.
Why?
I told you why, because it can be used as a weapon.
It can be used as a weapon.
Right.
You're a jackass.
There you go. That's all I need.
Put your fucking gun away.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, could you have a seat over here? Now we can talk.
Nope. I'm not sitting. You can sit.
Hey, Zane.
What?
Okay, these nice people here told me that you are a resident.
Oh, wow.
So, Zane,
What a fucking
that's
surprise.
what we were trying to find out, okay?
What a
Just-
fucking surprise. I gave him my ID.
One cop heads into the apartment, and when he comes out, guess what? He confirms what Zayed's been saying from the get-go. He lives there. But did that get Zayed a free pass? Nope. The officers weren't done. They still wanted him to sit and spill the details they'd been hounding him for.
So, Zane, if you
I do not feel comfortable sitting down around a bunch of fucking murderers.
Okay. So, Zay...
This guy was ready to kill me, sir.
Okay, so Zay...
Why don't you get off my property?
Okay.
Why don't you get off my property?
What I'm trying to resolve.
Why don't you get off my property and stop telling me what to do at my fucking house? How about that?
If you were willing to sit down, we could talk about
I'm not sitting down.
Okay.
Why don't you go home, officer?
Right.
And why don't you guys go find some real criminals instead of wasting my goddamn time? How about that? I fucking live here.
Zayed then turns towards Officer Smiley again, and the two have another intense back and forth until the officer gets called by his partner to debrief the situation.
I can get your name, your date of birth.
You have all my
Find
stuff.
out. I don't have your date of birth yet.
Why do you need my information?
I
Why are
explained
you
it to
coming
you.
onto my property asking me for my information? This is where I fucking live. I don't need to give you shit. I didn't do shit. I fucking live here.
Do we just want to stand here?
I
Then?
live here. Go get the fucking go get everybody. Call everybody.
That's not how it works.
Call everybody. Then we'll have a standoff, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? This is stupid. I live here.
Hang
You
out
came
and
on
just
my
talk to my
property
partner.
and you fucking took my identification, dude.
Once Smiley's done debriefing, his partner tells him,
You didn't show me a badge.
So we've confirmed that he lives here, right?
How the fuck?
No.
Well, he just did.
Okay.
Partner just did. He confirmed that he lives here.
According to him, he lives here. He just provided a unit number. Finally, I don't have a date of birth. I don't know who he is.
Okay. All right. So let's. You got his information in terms of his name and all that.
I just have his name.
Okay. Then give me his
You're a
ID
fucking
back, and then we're out of
jackass.
here. Yeah, because we
You're a
already confirmed
jackass.
he's there, and this
You got the
gentleman
wrong
here just said,
fucking
yeah, he works here and lives here. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just.
right when Smiley's partner tells him to give Zayed his ID back, he immediately cuts the audio from his body cam, and it stays that way for the rest of the encounter. Body cam footage from another officer shows that before Smiley had his conversation with his partner, a faculty member from the college arrived at the scene and told officers that Zayed did, in fact, work for them.
You work for Naropa?
Yeah, I'm the director of safety and facilities.
And so is this one of your properties right here?
Absolutely is.
Okay. So he is a contractor. He goes to Naropa, or is part of
He's our student.
student,
He's
and
a student work study.
Okay.
Yeah,
So he has permission to be here. He has permission to be doing whatever he's doing here.
absolutely. He's picking up trash.
Okay,
Keeping
awesome.
the place clean.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind just talking to him real quick, just to try to calm down. If that's all it is, we're gonna walk away in about 15 seconds.
Trying to get Zayed to calm down, the faculty member tells him,
angry and escalated, and it's likely you got profile, okay? So we'll pick it up at a different time, not right here, right now.
Another perspective from a different body cam shows Smiley handing Zayed back his ID while also sharing a few words.
So my partners have confirmed that you live here, which was initially the reason I contacted you, along with the object that you had. Just seeing you mulling it around, wasn't sure if you were dead. Do you want to go home right now, or do you want to stay here? Well, I have your ID here. I'm going to give it back to you. Okay? All right, now that I've confirmed that you live here, Following the incident, an investigation was promptly initiated. The results? Officer Smiley had violated 2 department policies, but they didn't find any clear evidence of racial profiling. However, before facing any disciplinary actions, Smiley opted to resign. Due to an agreement with the city, he continued receiving his salary until February 2020. City Attorney Tom Carr commented, "The settlement allowed the city to provide the community information more quickly, and it transitioned Officer Smiley out of a law enforcement career." Zayed, with support from his legal team at Rathud Mohammadabi LLC, pursued legal action and reached a settlement of $125,000 by March 2020. A collective statement from the city attorney and Zayed's legal team acknowledged that Atkinson should not have been stopped, and that the proper protocol would have been for the officer to walk away after Mr. Zayed Atkinson produced his student identification card and explained what he was doing. Based on the history of race relations and law enforcement in the United States and the particular circumstances of the encounter, Mr. Atkinson's anger was justified, the joint statement read. In light of the blowback from this incident, the City Council implemented a new strategy by October 2019. An oversight board was to be established with a staff member who'd act as a mediator between the police and the community, aiming to prevent future incidents of this nature. It's no secret that black folk in the U.S. are more likely to fall victim to profiling incidents such as these with no proof of any crime whatsoever.
but they also get discriminated against in other ways. In our next story, we talk about a Columbia cop who can't stop saying the N-word. Number 2, Columbia sergeant repeatedly yelling racial slur. It's unfortunate, but true. There's a history of police bias against minority groups, particularly African Americans. A prime example, an incident in South Carolina on August 29, 2020. An officer engaged with a black individual outside a bar and, shockingly, used the N-word on 2 occasions. This happened during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bars had curfews, ensuring everyone was out by 11. On that particular night, Sergeant Chad Walker was in the 5 Points area, attempting to clear out a bar when he met with resistance from a few patrons, and the situation became tense.
Put it down. Governor's rule, you can't have any more alcohol after 11. Sir, if you drink that, you will go to jail. Go out, leave, let's go, now. Your hand was on it, sir. And you're a little colorblind, sir. Right, stop calling me ignorant. Let's go.
The officer's body cam footage shows Walker responding to a comment with, "You're a little colorblind, sir." It further escalates once the officer heads out of the bar and engages in a heated confrontation with a white patron.
I'm sorry, what was that? What did you say? Please say it to my face. I believe your exact terminology was pigs.
Oh no, I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
That was you. Because you were mad we made you leave without drinking your beer.
Was that on film or anything? Did you get that on your body camera?
Actually, yeah, I did.
Alright, cool.
Try again. What's your problem? Speak freely. You got my attention now because that's what you wanted, so speak freely.
My issue is you talking to these people of color as if they are less than human.
The people of color. The gentleman right there that called me a
Listen, Brian,
that guy that just called me a
Can you stop saying that word, please?
Walker, who is white, unfortunately uses the racial term twice. This naturally upset several individuals. Nonetheless, Walker stands his ground, confronting the black man whom he believed he had used the term against him first. The man firmly denies such an accusation.
I never told you that. Actually, you did. It's on body cam, so try again.
No, actually, I never.
Try again.
I've never said that a day in my life.
Yes, sir, you did.
No, actually, don't
yes, sir, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. It's on camera.
60.
Camera.
I never.
Right there. You just did it again.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Dude, there's literally like 17.
You got mad because I told you couldn't drink your drink, so you called me that word.
What word?
Okay.
You want to say it again?
Yeah, actually, I do. Say it.
Why? Because all you're doing is calling me ignorant.
Sir.
That's what that word means. If you'd like to call yourself ignorant, keep saying it. Actually, if you look in the dictionary, it does.
Sir, no.
As tensions rose, the black man's friends intervened, trying to de-escalate matters. However, Walker continues to defend his choice of words, questioning why he can't reciprocate if someone uses the term against him.
When I was called that, I can say it back, saying the guy that just called, oh, I can't? He can say it to me, but I can't say it to him.
White.
Right.
You're white.
Who cares what color I am? He called me a word.
It's a racist word.
It's not a racist word. I said he called me that word. Nobody was called that.
Use it. You can't use it.
I can't use it.
When more officers arrive, they attempt to separate Walker from the crowd. Concurrently, a woman from the scene tries to calm things down, urging everyone to leave before it becomes even more confrontational.
You just need to be quiet, bro.
I think everyone.
You get a real job.
What job do you have? What job do you have?
I artificial intelligence.
Ryan, you're only.
Sure, it's epic.
Everything's okay. I think everybody's out of the bar, and I think nothing at this point is illegal, and I think everybody can dissipate. Coming from the tiny little girl over here.
No, 12 Are you done?
Everybody's done.
2200 block of Divine Street.
I think everybody.
And there's CJ Johnny, I'm here at 243. Just to make sure, I just want to make sure you wanted my attention. Still
Done here, sir.
Honda Element, black color. Because I was repeating what he said to me, the gentleman that called me the N-word.
It's sir, everything's done. Everything's
If you want to call it the N-word, but he said it. It's on camera.
Everything is done, sir.
So it's not like anything wasn't said to me.
Sir, everything's done now. Everything's done.
So I don't understand how, if I repeat what he called me, how that's wrong.
Someone yelling, he's...
Never called anybody a derogatory word. I was actually called the derogatory word.
One time, 41-year-old brother.
You're right. I did. I'm not going to deny that.
Sir,
I repeated what you told me. The guy called me the N-word.
I don't want to make a point. We were not that.
So I'm sorry.
As they head to their vehicles, Walker adds one final comment.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and be called derogatory names. But that's cool.
Following the widespread sharing of the footage on social media, Sergeant Walker was dismissed from the Columbia Police Department. The decision was unanimous, highlighting violations of crucial departmental policies. Chief of the Columbia Police, Skip Holbrook, remarked, "As I've stated before, when setbacks occur and mistakes are made, we must be willing to acknowledge them, fix them, learn from them, and continue to move forward." If you want to watch more videos of racist cops facing the consequences, then please subscribe to the channel.